The New York Times shared an unbelievable fact over the weekend about the negative side of Obama's legacy. Listen to this. They say, Obama came into office 7 years ago, pledging to end the wars of his predecessor, George W. Bush. On May 6th, with 8 months left before he vacates the White House, Mr. Obama passed a somber, little-noticed milestone. He has now been at war longer than Mr. Bush or any other American president. If the United States remains in combat in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria until the end of Mr. Obama's term, a near certainty given the president's recent announcement that he will send 250 additional special operations forces to Syria, he will leave behind an improbable legacy as the only president in American history to serve 2 complete terms with the nation at war. Wow. Change we can believe in. Indeed, it was change. It was change in the worst direction, where he said, I'm going to end the wars. He started more, and he kept us involved in the other ones, and it's going to be his entire time in office. Incredible. See, your choices today among the two parties, you either go with the party that's for imperialism, hard imperialism, where it's ground invasions oftentimes in a variety of different countries that did not attack us, or you go, that's the Republicans, or you go with the Democrats and it's soft imperialism. So what does that mean? Well, you sprinkle some special ops forces here and there, have some advisors on the ground, do airstrike campaigns all over the fucking place, and most importantly, drones. Drones all day long, do it everywhere. Obama has intervened in, I think it's 7 different countries. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, Libya. 7. The supposedly liberal Democratic president has intervened in 7 different countries. Many of them we're still intervening in right now. And, you know, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet of different ways we attack in different places. And, you know, for people, I always find it funny, the people who make the argument of the necessity of drones. It's either this, it's either a hard ground invasion, or it's drones. Well, wait a second. If you think you're super morally superior and liberal and you're going, well, drones it is, well, how do you respond to the internal memo that in the government that we learned from the drone papers where they said 90% of the time they're killing the wrong people? 90% of the time! That is indefensible. You have former drone operators who come out and say, yeah, we're killing civilians all over the place. It's horrific. They call little kids, they've blown up little kids and called them fun-sized terrorists. I mean, look, this is happening under President Obama. He deserves the blame for this. And this is the saddest part of it all, is that the system is so geared towards war. And, you know, with the military-industrial complex and coasting off the momentum of previous administrations, we're at the point now where it really is. You go with the Republicans and they do hard imperialism, neoconservative style, or you go with the Democrats and they do soft imperialism, drones everywhere, bombs everywhere. And oftentimes, guys, let's face it, this ends up creating more terrorists. It does. Now, I've said from the beginning, probably the best way to take on ISIS and take on jihadists is you can give aid to the Kurds, for example. The Kurds have been, you know, the main force fighting against them. Honestly, in many circumstances, you could support the Shia militias. But this is a battle, and this is a fight that has to be fought by the people in the region. For us to go there, all we do is unite the opposition. And we've spoken about this before. Zawahiri, or was it Zarqawi or Zawahiri? Either one. I forget. The head of al-qaeda today, guy with the Z in his name. That guy was like, oh, well, wait a second. What will unite all the different rival jihadist factions, the splinter groups that broke up, what will bring us all together is coming together to fight the evil Crusader Americans. So ISIS and al-Qaeda fucking hate each other, and they promise to fight each other unless the U.S. is there, and then they'll come together and fight the U.S. So they're letting you know this is a problem that will solve itself. You get out, and then we turn on each other, and we kill each other. There's nothing I want more than ISIS and al-Qaeda to kill each other. You can all fucking die. Wonderful. So why would we be insistent upon making the problem worse. And never mind the fact, I haven't even brought up the fact that we have idiots in the government like General Petraeus, who says, oh, by the way, we should arm al-Qaeda because al-Qaeda is going to fight ISIS. Therefore, arm them, and it's not going to come back and hurt us, is it? It's not like al-Qaeda's ever done a gigantic terrorist attack in the U.S., right? And then again, there's another angle to this, which is we have Pentagon-backed CIA rebels Pentagon-backed rebels fighting CIA-backed rebels. Different parts of the U.S. government are funding different sides in the same fucking conflict. This is Obama's legacy. Sure, look, I'm more than happy to give him credit when he deserves credit. I love what he did with Cuba. I love what he did with the executive orders on immigration, which are currently going through the court system. I love what he did with Iran. You know, for all the bad-mouthing I do of Obamacare, it's certainly better than the system we had before. I want Medicare for all, but it's a step in the right direction. I'm more than willing to give Obama credit when he deserves credit. He does not deserve credit here. This is shameful. A supposedly liberal Democratic president been at war his entire time in office when he promised to get us out of there. He did not get us out of there. And again, the problem has gotten worse. You cannot make the argument that, well, what we did is the right thing and it worked out. Except, wait a second, there are more jihadists and terrorists today than there were before we did all the countless interventions. So you are simply wrong if you believe that's the answer. It is not the answer. But like I said at the beginning, you either go hard imperialism, ground invasions, the neocon way, the Republican way, or you go soft imperialism, the Democratic way. Airstrikes, drone strikes, some special ops people on the ground and advisors on the ground, and both ways they end up making the problem worse. But that won't stop them from continuing to go down the wrong path.